Hey guys, happy hump day. So I know you guys are wondering what this is a picture of and why I'm not showing my face. No, I'm not the artist. Steven is actually the artist. So my big surprise, my big shocker was, here's the deal. There are two pictures I'm going to show you sporadically. I'm going to go back and forth. Here's one of them. This one is actually dated 1/5 of 2017 by him. And then there's this one that there's no signature on it. However, I was told from a very reliable source that these were sent to Carla. Carla was supposed to put them on the website or in the family group in order to sell them. And for some reason, she didn't show them to anybody. She showed them to like 3 or 4 people, maybe a few more. I don't know. But I heard very, very few people saw them. When I first looked at them, I thought they were the creepiest fucking things I ever saw in my entire life. And it was just very weird to me. This one to me looks like they're in shackles. And there's 4 women in bikinis. I find it odd that the fire pit and these things are the only things that are colored. This to me looks like, I have no idea, but maybe chains. I mean, it's just creepy. Like, really creepy. I'm assuming this is like a house he wants to live in, but honestly, if I spent like 36 years in jail, this house would be like 4 times bigger. But yeah, it's just weird to me. So this one I haven't really broken down yet. This one, I had a friend of mine who's an artist go through it and tell me her true depiction of what she believes it is. And sorry, you're going to see pop-ups from Twitch, and you're going to see pop-ups probably from Facebook. So I told everyone I was doing a video not to bother me, but that probably won't happen. Anyway, so Stephen Avery drew this, sent it to Carla, and wanted Carla to sell it. If you guys want to buy it, let me know. I will tell my people that they want original drawings from Stephen, and it'll get back to Stephen to either draw a new one of this, take this one, whatever. I'm not totally sure why Carla didn't show it. I think that if that's Stephen wishes, then she should have respected that. That's just my opinion. But yeah, they are really creepy. And so the reason why I'm showing them twofold, honestly, is one, because I just think that you guys have a right to see them. I mean, if that's what Stephen wanted. Secondly, I really want to know what you guys think of them. Do you guys think they're creepy? Do you guys think they're serious? Now, like I said, my artist friend depicted this one perfectly. I couldn't even believe what she said. And she saw it from an artist's point of view. And again, she knows nothing about making a murderer. She's never seen it. She doesn't care to see it. She has no interest in it. But for someone that doesn't know Steven, doesn't know the story, doesn't know anything, for her to nail this like perfectly was mind-blowing to me. So I'm just curious what you guys think of them. Again, here's this one. And here's this one. Now, I know there's a lot of my haters that are waiting on bated breath to see what exclusivity I had. If you don't believe these came from Steven or anything like that, go ahead and ask Carla why she never showed them. So that was this. And again, I'll leave it up for another minute. And I'm sorry I'm not going to be live in a video tonight just because I'm not in the mood. And that's that. So again, if you guys want copies, send me your email. I will try and email it to you. But if Stephen wishes to get it out, then so be it. And let me know what you guys think. I'd really, really like your thoughts. And as far as I know, nobody that I know has seen him. And you guys know, I know a lot of people on these groups and talk to other YouTubers, and nobody has ever mentioned that Stephen's drawing like Ted Bundy and trying to sell his art. Granted, he's not as good of an artist as Ted Bundy, but that's neither here nor there. So that's what I have for you guys on this. I was going to say this TM, but there's no point. It's weird. So like I said, if you want copies, let me know. I will send you copies. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Zellner's motion. first, let me say to all the people that yelled at me and screamed at me and hated me because I don't support the family. Ha! Now you know why I don't support the family. Now you know why I've never supported the family. And I am thrilled that people are being depicted for who they truly are. So I know that a lot of my followers, because I've heard this more than once, do not read motions. They don't care. They want it summed up. That's why they watch YouTube, so everything is summed up. So what I decided to do tonight, because it is long and it is intricate, instead of me taking notes and everything else, I just highlighted stuff. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and I skipped through some stuff, but I've put notes like everywhere. So starting off, Zellner pretty much nails all of Barb's lies, all of Scott's lies, depicts Scott for the piece of shit that he really is, depicts Barb in so many different lies, which doesn't surprise me in the least. And the fact that the family group, I keep getting text, I would say every hour, from people telling me I was just kicked out, or what kind of discussion group is if you can't really discuss. And honestly, they're right. As you guys know, I haven't been in the family group. I don't even have Carla, like me and Carla blocked from each other. And that's okay. I think it's a joke that they're still trying to get people to support them just based on Barbara's lies alone. And anybody, in my opinion, that still supports her after seeing these lies in your face, you're a bigger fucking fool than Kratz. So, all right, so here we go. Starts off with they're talking about the Denny motion. Now, I made a video last year, sometime in 2016, that discussed that all this bullshit that's being said about the Denny motion stopped them from anything. It stopped Buting and Strang from actually doing properly on the case and invest. No, bullshit. I said this a year ago and I will say this again. And Zellner just proved it. If they would have done their jobs the proper way and they would have done things the way that they should have done things, that they were hired to do things, then that Denny motion would have meant nothing. Because all they had to do was meet the legitimate test. And they could have gotten right through it. There's no reason that they couldn't do what Zellner is doing. None at all. They had money. Zellner said that she has spent to date, and this was like I think it was the last order, that she has spent $200,000. Well, Stephen gave them like $150,000. So maybe they wouldn't have had the best test in the universe. Maybe they wouldn't have had the best, of everything. But the shit that she's throwing out now, that she laid out now, they should have done. So, again, anyone that gave me shit for it last year, Zellner proved once and again that, you know what? She's right. If Buting and Strang would have done their fucking jobs correctly and actually interviewed people and looked into things, then this may have been cleared up 10 years ago. So, that was the point of right there when she says that it established the test and Scott and Bobby are connected and they should be held accountable. Not held accountable for the murder. There's no proof of that yet, but they definitely met the legitimacy test to name another person. Now, another Brady witness who provides evidence that Ms. Halleck left the Avery salvage yard on October 31st. New Brady witness, I don't know who the Brady witness is, also establishes that Ms. Halleck's day planner was in her vehicle at the time of the murder and in possession of Ryan Hillegas. Now, someone had said to me that Ryan Hillegas had the planner. That means that he's probably the most likely suspect to kill her. Wrong. To me, I read that as on November 3rd, when Coleman found the car that I've been saying he found days before, that it was planted, and we believe that somebody was with him, possibly Pam Stern, or because that's kind of who it sounded like, or we don't know who was there, but somebody was with him, and guess what? Because of that, they probably took all the important contents out of her car before it got impounded, I couldn't think of the right word, before it got impounded. And there you go. That's how Ryan ended up with this. I still say Ryan is not guilty of this murder. Ryan is guilty of cover-up. I will say this to the end. I have a pretty good fucking track record so far about these people and what I believe. I still think Josh is involved. I don't care if Zellner hasn't uncovered it yet. I don't know why. I just do. And Ryan Hillegas is not the killer. To me, that is how Ryan got her book. It has nothing to do with the murder. Now, also went on. Undersigned counsel's investigation remains ongoing. Additional new evidence, blah, blah, blah. Meat diligence test, yada, yada, yada. Motion for reconsideration, incorrectly stated text messages. So everyone was weird with the text messages and certain things being the wrong year. All that's covered in here. Barb and Mr. Tadich had recently made admissions that Miss Halbach left the Avery property before her disappearance. So if Barb and Scott were not home, then how the fuck can they say with certainty that Halbach left the property? Because they were going by what Bobby said? Well, Bobby said that if he saw her pull in, not leave. So the only way that you would know 100% that she left Scott is if you saw her drive off the property. Then it goes on to that stuff, and I'm going to get to that after. 7 times, Barb says that she didn't have internet. But there's actually 11 times, and I'll prove it later. This is just a short clip. As you can see, she keeps vehemently denying that she has internet. Well, it goes on. It goes on. Okay. So here's more where this is where Scott and Steven say that Scott and Barb say, yeah, she left. How do you know that they left, guys? Seriously, how do you know they left? Scott then says he doesn't know fucking shit. You sure about that, Scott? Or is it more like he's finding out shit and you're freaking out? Because that's what it sounds like to me. So the reason why, as Zellner states, that the admissions are crucial is because, again, they testified, most important witness for the state was Bobby, Brandon's brother, or I'm sorry, my New York accent says it wrong. My haters are making fun of the way I say Brendan. So I will say Brendan? I don't know. That's how I guess you're supposed to say it. My New York accent says Brandon. So testified that Miss Halbach was still on the Avery property and that he saw Miss Halbach approaching Avery's trailer when he left. Bobby totally denies that now. Bobby made statements to his brother that impeached Bobby's trial testimony and established that, in fact, he had observed Miss Halbach leave the Avery property. So which is it? Did you see her leave or did you see her come? In other testimony, I think it was the last testimony, I think, he had stated that, yeah, I know Stephen didn't do it because I saw him leave. Now, my question is, too, why would Bobby be the state's best witness? That's Brennan's brother. So that makes no sense to me at all. In addition to the impeachment, Brian Barb in the October 24th phone call admitted that she knew that Miss Halbach had left the property. How did you know that, Barb? That's what I want to know. Whoop. And Barb in response to Mr. Avery saying, Bobby, and this, I'm going to get into all this after. How do you know? Statement number 2. Barb's statements on Facebook on October 30th directly contradict Bobby's trial testimony. Gee, shocker. And Miss Halbach, Bobby said at trial that Miss Halbach took pictures of his mother's van before he got in the shower. She actually started walking over to Stephen's trailer. Really, Bobby? Because you totally didn't say that now. Specifically, Barb stated, just got off the phone with Bobby, and this, I'll show you that in a minute. Just got off the phone with Bobby, and I asked him, and he told me that he had seen her pull in, but that was because he left to go hunting. He said that is the truth. Oh, so what you said in the beginning was a lie. What you said at trial was a lie. Since you're all fucking liars, do you guys even know what the truth is anymore? Because if this is the truth, why would you lie to put Stephen away? Why? That is like the overriding question. Why? So I'm going to jump ahead for a second. And show you that text. Boop, boop, boop. It's like the last thing. There it is. Okay. This was on Facebook the other day. I saw it. Somebody sent it to me. And it's kind of shocking because, really, Barb, which son do you want to throw away and which son are you keeping? Is your abusing ass husband that good? Because really, he's not. But he has you convinced that this is perfectly okay. And his temper and his attitude speaks volumes. So let me go back to page 5. Here we are. That's pretty good. Now, we move on. State's theory is that Avery initiated the appointment with Havok on the 31st, is refuted by Brian's affidavit and the corroborating statements of his brothers Blaine and Brendan. So everybody states that Barb is the one that called. Now, here's another piece of evidence. Barb claims that she has never seen Teresa. Well, I have proof that that's a lie, and I'll get to that after. So it was Barb that made the arrangements for the car to be taken. It was Barb that the answer machine was on, and I think we uncovered that. I think I actually asked Carla about that last year, because I said, why would she need, if she knew Avery, then why the fuck would she need to leave a message like that? Are you sure that message was for Barb? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Still doesn't really make sense to me. But it seems that Barb is the one that called and made the arrangements. That is the first time that I think I've heard this, that it was Barb, because I believe Barb denied it. I believe everybody denied it. And if I'm not mistaken in trial, I have not totally looked this over again, but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it wasn't, it was never said that Barb is the one that actually called. And then it goes on, and yeah, Mr. Scott observed or had contact with Ms. Havok after she left the property. How do you know, Scott? Like, how do you know that she actually left? Because you killed her, or you had something to do with her murder after the fact? Just saying. Miss Avery discovered new evidence that Barb attempted to remove evidence from a computer. This is when the shit hit the fan. Now, everyone's saying that this is new because Brad had stated something to Zellner, or, talked to Zellner. But this isn't new. Brad reported this to the cops in 2006. Nobody would listen. I know last year everybody was depicting him as a liar. And he did get a little weird, but he was never a liar. Miss Avery attached this. I didn't really get into too much about this. It's just about Brad's testimony, which everybody sees. And I know I have more. Let me back up. Talks about, oh, there it is. All right. My opinion, Mr. Hunt was saying that Dassey's computer was used to access the internet at 6:05, 6:28, 6:31, 7, 9:33, 10:09. Who the fuck goes on a computer like that? Nobody. You don't go on a computer, hey, let me go back at 6:28. Let me then look at a girl at 6:31, maybe 7 o'clock. I think I'm fiending to see another girl tortured at 9:33. Let me go back on it. It doesn't make sense. Two things are either going to happen. One, your internet sucks, which it's possible it did back then. Or two, somebody was there besides Bobby. Maybe Scott. But to me, these say, and this is just an educated guess, this is not set in stone. I'm not saying this is the way it went down. I'm saying this is a possibility. And I've said this from the time Zellner actually put this out. Somebody goes, to me, that looks like those are the times that somebody would have a chance to go in and go on the computer. For instance, Bobby had a girl, well, it wouldn't be a girl, but Bobby had somebody sleep over. There was a friend staying over. There was a friend he was partying with at wee hours of the morning. Who the fuck knows? It could have been anything. But to me, that says, was on the computer at 6:30, somebody walked in, shut it down at 7. Then they had some extra time at 9:33. Maybe they had to shut down again because somebody walked in the room. If you're living in the house, and this is why I lean towards Scott. If you're living in the house, Are you really going to be on a computer like 3 days looking at tortured women for only those 3 days? That doesn't make sense. That says to me that a friend was visiting, somebody was visiting, maybe mom's boyfriend was sleeping over, and those are the times he was looking at it. To me, that makes way more logical sense than Bobby or somebody, one of the boys, turned on the computer at these particular times. It makes zero sense to me. And what happened after 151? Nobody was home until 3:45. So why at 151 did he decide, hey, I'm not going to look at this anymore? And why did he only look at it on these days? It doesn't add up. What adds up to me is that Scott or somebody else, but I think it's Scott, was sleeping over, jumped on the computer, at 7 o'clock, maybe somebody was getting up. Maybe Barb was leaving for work. Maybe something was going on, so he shut it down. Then he had another opportunity at 9:30. Somebody walked in the room. Maybe it was Bobby. Shut it down. 108, 151. Bobby may have gotten up around 2 o'clock, take a shower. That was the end of it. He went to go see his mom. I know he said he was at work, but the times for just a few days do not add up. Nobody who's into porn is going to look at it 3 days, and that's it. Unless they were not, unless they were not, I totally lost my fucking train of thought. Yeah, and if they didn't want to get caught looking at something, that's the pattern that they're going to look at. I know that Scott is an abuser. I called him out as being an abuser last year. I also think that not only is he an abuser, but I believe he's a narcissist. I can't prove it. I don't know him personally, but from what I've seen, yeah, he's a raging narcissist. Therefore, most narcissists are very into porn. That is why I'm leaning towards Scott. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, do not believe this was Bobby. I think Zellner is missing the mark on that one because, again, nobody looks at the computer. If it's in your house and that's your computer, you're not going to look at it at times like that. So that's what I think. And there's nothing she could say that's going to change my mind on that. And I think she needs to explore something bigger than just Bobby was looking at the computer on 2 days or 3 days at these weird times when he has access to that computer all the time, especially if those are his hours. So there, I think she's barking up the wrong tree, just an opinion. She goes on to say Bobby's the only one home during those hours, blah, blah, blah. You have no idea who he was with. Maybe he came home with somebody from work. I mean, you have no idea. And in all fairness, they could all be completely innocent. And it turns out that Bobby maybe was smoking pot with somebody in the house who was sneaking in and, using a computer at those times. You never know. Everybody's fucking lying, so you never know. Now, in addition to the evidence, Avery's prior motions, the evidence presented as supplement requires an evidentiary hearing. Zellner absolutely deserves to get this hearing. Hands down, no questions asked. Now, what's funny is, and I'm getting to this in a minute, is the phone call between Barb and Steven. Oh my God. Tadich said at least 3 times, I'm going to put you in the ground. Barb kept saying, I'm going to end up in the ground. It's a very strange thing that she said the exact same words that Scott said. Not, I'm going to have a heart attack, or you're going to have to bury me, or something a little different. If someone's going to die of a heart attack, they're going to say, you're going to have to bury me. They're not going to say, you're going to have to put me in the ground. And it's just the fact that Scott used those exact same words tells me that she's worried for her life, that if this does go down the way it's looking like it's going to go down, he's going to kill her. That's what I see. And then she goes on to say, she's going on about other stuff. Now, that's mumbo jumbo. This is the good shit. So the lies begin. Steve, what I think, in my personal opinion, is that Zellner told Steven, bait them and see what you can get out of them. Because Steven seems calm as can be. He's not cursing. He's not getting loud. He's not mad. He is totally baiting them, and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But, I mean, if you were him, you would have too. So I put notes next to everything. Like, Barb says, what do you mean, where, why is she starting up with Scott and Bobby again? Again, I didn't know she ever started up with Scott and Bobby. So maybe there's stuff that we don't know. She's going to take my fucking family down again. I'm unaware of the first time she ever took the family down. So if I'm missing something, guys, please let me know, because as far as I know, she wasn't taking anyone down. I'd fucking better not, because you'll have a dead sister. That I understand, but to me, Scott gonna put you in the ground too. So that's part of that phone call. Blah, blah, blah. And you guys can read this as I go along. I'm just reading my notes. Barb says that he was in the hospital with his mom for the most of the day. That's actually a lie. And I know it's a lie because I spoke to somebody very close to Scott last year, had an intense phone conversation with him, and I was actually talking to him for a while. He said that Scott was not at the hospital all day, that Scott lied about that, and that Scott was only in the hospital for a short amount of time. And my opinion, he was in there for an alibi. And he left early. Like, he stayed not a lot at all. Another thing that Beauty and Strength failed, because yeah, they should have looked at those cameras and seen exactly when he walked in and exactly when he left, and they never did. And that goes on to say, do you think that he didn't have an alibi? So I went through that already. And now she goes on to say, hold on. Barb says, yeah, she's gonna try to ruin a happy family. He's got 2 kids and he's got to worry about now. Well, if he's so innocent, what the fuck are you so worried about, Barb? She can only ruin something if he's guilty. So, do you think he's guilty? Sounds to me like he's a little guilty. So here's where the lies start. Barb Tadich, there was nothing on my fucking computer. All this, I didn't even have fucking internet back then. Once she said it. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. That's twice. I'm not going to go to each one, but 3 says she didn't. 4 says she didn't. 5 says she didn't. 6 says she didn't. 7 says she didn't. 8 says she didn't. 9 says she didn't. And we go on. 10 says she didn't. 11. 11 times she denies having internet. She denied it totally, that she had no computer and that she had no internet. Now let's move a little forward. Steven says, all I know is on the computer. That's all I know. Well, really? Uh-huh. Bobby said he was sleeping, but he wasn't sleeping. He was on the internet. He was on the computer. Barb says he was doing shift. I don't know what this is. Steven. Bullshit, but Barb says, then somebody else was in my fucking house and was on it. Oh, but you just said 11 times that you never had one. 11 fucking times. Barb, you sat there and said that you didn't own a computer. And then all of a sudden, look at that. Now somebody's in your house using it. Which does go back to my other theory, but let's go on. And there's Scott screaming in the background. He don't know fucking shit. Here comes the abuser. Then he said, she said... Here it is. Scott Tadich. That's right. She left. Yeah. How do you guys know she left? Bobby said he saw her come in, not leave. Oh, I forgot. Bobby's newest testimony is that he saw her leave. Steven said that he didn't testify to that. And Steven is right. Tadich said, like I said, you'll have a dead sister. Proves my point that he told Zellner not to do anything against his family, which is what I had stated originally, that I really think that this didn't come out earlier because Steven said, let's leave my family out of this. They tried to win the case another way. It didn't work. Now they have no choice. Now they're going after whoever they have to go after. That is really what I think happened. Steven says, let's put it this way, while we all have a yard. I wasn't. It sounds to me that she's probably not lying, but if she didn't lie so much, I might actually believe her. But since she lies so much, I don't believe her. Scott, being the big badass that he is, I want to talk to him. Um, the only time I've seen her was once. Okay, so Barb does admit that he saw her once. So somebody had asked him, it's my other fact, I had to put it in Word. This is Barb stating, you said you never seen her, so I'm curious if she looks sick or anything. Never seen her. This happened today or yesterday. And Barb, if you've never seen her, then why are you saying here that you've seen her? You did see her. So you're lying to somebody saying that you never saw her, but you did. You came, Steven says you came over there. She was over there because you had the red truck. You had his red truck. I'm assuming that's Scott's red truck. We were coming over there to talk to her to give her some advice. So not only did you see her, but you were up close and personal with her. So back to this, once again, Barb, you're a fucking liar. Okay, because you did see her. So why do you keep lying, Barb? That's what I want to know. Barb says, Steven says something. Barb says, my kids aren't saying shit. That's an odd way to put it. It could be taken one of two ways. Then she says, just like I was supposed to call Auto Trader. So you're saying now that you didn't call Auto Trader when the proof is that you did? Which is a Barb. Then you have Scott screaming in the background, and it's nice to see that Barb did stick up for herself and kept telling Scott to shut the fuck up. Scott says he doesn't know a fucking thing, but obviously you do, you piece of shit. Then it goes on, and she says bullshit that somebody was on my fucking computer after they took it. Oh, you mean a computer that you never owned? Yeah, that's what it says. You read that right. And now she's all butthurt because of Steven. I have no idea what this means. It looks like they were talking in secret code. Honestly does. I feel like there was like secret messages going back and forth. Steven says you got him out. You could have put it out there. You got the internet. You got everything. But no, go ahead. Search the house. We'll go to Mishkat. You know, whatever you said. I don't know what this is, but to me, this doesn't sound good for Steven. So, yeah, I don't know what that is. Other than search a house. But again, if you have nothing to hide, then what's the big deal? And honestly, they didn't find anything in the house anyway. So, I don't know what this is, but this makes me a little leery. And before I even go on, let me just say, you guys know that I think he's innocent, but I'm not going to lie to you. I will always tell you what the real deal is, and if I think something sounds sketchy against Steven, I'm going to tell you something sounds sketchy or something doesn't seem right. So that's my personal take on that. Now, he's still going on and on. Scott's still going on, and I don't honestly know why Steven didn't talk to Scott. I would have had Scott blow up, threaten my life and everything. So Barb said if I would have left Fox Hills, they would have arrested me. This was really dumb on Steven's part, and I can't believe nobody said it, but I can. So she said, that's what they told me. Why does everyone keep bothering me? It's coming. So it says, if I would have left Fox Hills, you would have arrested me. Steven says, well, I don't care. They can't frame you and get away with it. Hello, you're sitting in jail for 11 years and you did 18 years the first time. I guess they can get away with it, Steven. This is the dumbest thing in thinking this whole fucking thing. And this whole conversation. I just can't believe he said something so stupid. Oh, okay. And that's all. See, I don't know what they're talking about here. And this one just keeps blabbing his mouth. Knowing that prison is recorded, I don't know why he's blabbing his mouth. Steven says he's got to print out a documentary. Barbara's all upset. Nobody looked out for me either. What we all had to go through. Poor Barb. No one looked out for her. She's enjoying her freedom with her loser-ass abusing husband. While her son is free and he has 2 kids, while her other son, who's less important in her eyes, it's okay for him to go to jail. But as long as the good one didn't. Yeah, that's how I see this. I had a family over there, ignored me for fucking 4 years. Well, maybe that's why you seek so much attention now. And it goes on and on. Scott says, I want to talk to that little bastard. I want that motherfucker to answer some fucking questions. What questions do you have, Scott? He's been in jail for 11 years. You have questions for him? Go up and fucking ask him. I mean, you're such an asshole. Fuck Stephen Avery. He's a piece of shit. He's been all his fucking life. Oh, okay. And you've been a model citizen. The fuck out of here. Barb tells him, shut up. Good going, Barb. Scott then goes on and on. Now, this is pretty funny because Scott goes on this whole thing. I don't want to repeat this. This is like bad. Not that I have a good mouth or anything, but he goes on to say that I wasn't even on that fucking property that day. You goddamn idiot. No, Scott, actually, you're the fucking idiot because you've testified in court. Barbara testified, the kids testified, and you've testified in multiple court statements that you were on the property that day. So really, who's the fucking idiot? Yeah. That's how fucking intelligent you are, Scott. I think you better look in a mirror before you start calling people names for being an idiot, because another lie. You and your wife have non-stop lies. He then proceeds to say that Stephen ruined his life. No, asshole, you ruined your own life. You ruined your own name, and your lies is what did you in. Just like your wife's lies is what's going to do her in, and your son's lies is what's going to do his in. And if he loses his family over it, guess what? He should have thought about that 13 years or 11 years ago before he tried to before he was the state's best witness. It is disgusting. So Scott's going on and on with a bunch of bullshit, yada, 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 yada. And Barb said, I didn't read any of this shit. So you didn't know that your own husband told Kratz that Stephen molested Brendan. Like, really? Sorry, lie again. I have a feeling you did know that. You just didn't care. Because you didn't want anyone else to get in trouble, especially your husband. Then Scott proceeded to say that they try to get me to say the same thing about Brendan before him, and I fucking defended that stupid cocksucker. You lying piece of shit. I did not have the time to pull up the testimony, but in Scott's affidavit to, I forgot which officer he was talking to, he was pretty loud and fucking clear that, yeah, Stephen molested Brendan. And you know how I know this? How do I know this by memory and remembering all this? Very simply, because Stephen was in jail and we had huge discussions on it. So guess what, Scott? Again, you're a fucking liar. And all he kept saying is a cocksucker, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, Scott. You seem to be awfully mad over nothing because you're not in jail yet. And Zellner already said that she's not testifying. So what are you so afraid of? He keeps calling Stephen all these different names, blah, blah, blah. Then he says, yeah, you talk about my mother, I'll put you in the fucking ground. There we go again with I'll put you in the ground. Gee, where did I hear that before? Barb will end up in the ground. It's not good. Doesn't look good. Scott says the only evidence they got is against him. That was planted evidence, fool. I hate him. We know. That's why you targeted him. Then Barb says it needs to stop now. You're right. Before the truth comes out, I agree, Barb. And then it goes on and on. Now, as I said, and you're probably reading this, did you notice that as mad as Scott was, not once did he ever say, you know you did this. Not once did he ever say, Stephen, you're the killer. He's the one that, you're the one that raped, beat, burned her, blah, blah, blah. The only thing this loser said was that the evidence is against him. Not you, not anything, just the evidence. How do you know that, Scott? How do you know the evidence was only against him? The last time I checked, your stepson was also convicted. What mother in their right fucking mind wouldn't bring that up? What mother in the world wouldn't say, you already got one of my sons involved in your murder or something of the sort? Want to know what I see? I see a pure fucking cover-up for her hubby. And I'm going to leave that up there just like that because it's true. Think about that. What fucking mother in their right mind wouldn't say anything about her son? Her son is in there for the same fucking crime that Stephen is. Now, one thing was brought up about it. Barbara, what the fuck are you covering? I said it a year ago and I'm saying it again, and I don't give a shit who hates me for this. Barb, you're a fucking liar. This is why I have never supported you, because you're a liar. And Zellner, it's not even to blame, because Zellner didn't even blame you. Your lies is what got you busted. Your abusing ass loser husband killed his own name with his lies. Because when people lie, they're covering something up. When people lie, there's a reason they're lying. And I'm going to pull up Steven's picture again. This is honest. This is somebody that is upset. This is somebody that has a voice that wants to be heard and that can't be heard. This is somebody who thinks that everybody thinks he's a fucking monster when he's not. And he's just somebody that wants to be heard. Why is that so hard for you to believe? He's not lying, Barb. You're fucking lying. He's not covering anything up. You're covering shit up. So before anybody wants to keep defending the family, take a fucking look at the lies. Because personally, I'm so sick and tired of them. And I am so glad that Zellner finally got her ass in gear and is doing something for Steven and doing something for this case. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. Again, if you want to get in touch with me about the drawings, feel free. I will get my people to his people and get you some original drawings. I don't know what he wants to charge for them. I don't know anything. Like I said, it came to me like fifth hand. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. Don't forget to check out my other videos. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will be back. I'm sure Zellner's going to put something out soon. And please leave me a description of what you guys think of these pictures. Okay? Even if you think he's guilty, let me know what you think of these pictures and why. Alright? And you can find me on Uncensored. Have a great night, guys. Peace out.